Peter Rose, Longwood Currency Trading. It's a brutally cold and windy early November day in 2021. And I wanted to chat a little bit with you about how to be a successful Forex trader before you are actually successful. But before we do that, part of the story is here in my wife's collection of poinsettias that we bought to share with friends and to put around the house. Actually, you can see in the window, I picked out one the other day. That's my poinsettia for my library. Why am I talking about poinsettias? Because that's having a happy December, getting ready for the Christmas holidays. It's going to be a successful holiday because we're starting to make it successful. Because that's what you do, right? The preparation sometimes is better than the actual event, maybe. I hope the quality of the video is a little better today. A couple of videos ago, we had wind blowing, and you couldn't hear me. And the last video I did before this one was taken in. I'm going to walk back out in here. Was taken with me looking out the window in the kitchen. I'll take you out there now today, and the contrast of the GoPro just wasn't capturing at all. I had to change the settings and all kinds of stuff because the light was coming in so strongly that you couldn't. It was an awful video. The information was great, but the not so much the video. Anyway, today I'm going to look around and look outside. I'm not going out because I'm not going to subject anybody to the wind, but because it is really blowing. I actually had to go out this morning and redo the wood pile coverings. Okay. Right. Boat, we gotta come inside. Come on, let's go. Yeah. Gotta get the bow dog in. Sue took him out for a walk today, and he rolled around in a bunch of bear shit. Okay, I've got my coffee, and it's warming my hands up. For as short a time as I was out there, it was a little chilly. Actually, I was out there for about an hour this morning, fixing those tarps. That's the issue there. But that view that I had before I went out there, I had to take the tarps off, resituate them, stabilize them, and then bring some wood in for the wood stove. And so I had a vision of successfully accomplishing that, making sure the tarps were secured, and that the wood that I was going to remove, that the tarps would cover the remaining wood correctly. I had all that vision in my head before I did that, and you know, I sat down this morning to look at the price action on my screen on my trading platform, and I looked at that and I said, you know, this looks like a great opportunity here. There's plenty of runway for my price to move in the direction I need to move in. It's coming out of some congestion, not structural congestion, but just the price congesting a little bit, taking a breather. I'm going to go in and I'm going to back the truck up, and so I went in with 3 full lots as an initial order. The thing was screaming in my favor. I dropped another 3 on it and made $1,500. Done for the day. But I looked at that differently. I wasn't hunting for a trade. I was looking at my well, I haven't lost a trade in the last probably 8 days. Well, I did lose a couple $100 and then made that up that other day. So, but I mean, it was closed trade, so I did lose the trade. But I haven't had a losing day in the last 10 or 12 trade days that I've made trades. So I've got this a successful thing. Now, the danger with that is that I would start feeling all powerful, and I'd start doing stupid shit. And I had that feeling of euphoria actually when I closed out for the 1500. Actually, it wasn't 15. It was $1,489. Close enough to $1,500 profit for very little time. And I said, oh, you know, geez, that price probably has enough momentum to continue to go on. Maybe I ought to put some orders in. And in fact, I did. I put some more orders in. And then I thought, whoa, what the hell are you doing? Why $1,500 for the day isn't good enough for you on a $60,000 account? Come on. So I closed all the orders out. And then I shut the trading platform off. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to be tempted. I don't want to have my feeling that, oh, geez, I did really good today. I made $1,500. I don't know. Okay, so I've had a very, very successful month of November. I made about $9,000 in November, and just put another $1,500 on it. So I don't want to push. I want the market to come to me. I want it to show me I've got stuff laying on the ground. Come pick me up. When you become successful at something, then it becomes easy. And if you have to take a loss, it doesn't kill you because you've got buffer. And so you make $8,000 or $9,000 and you lose $1,000. That's part of the game. I haven't had to lose yet. I've been in highly negative positions of $3,000 and $4,000 down in order to get have the thing turn around and then do my profit target. And again, I don't do that very often because the risk of it continuing to go badly is very, very high. And if I want to be a successful Forex trader, I have to think successfully. I can't say, oh shit, you know, I just lost $1,000 and that's a horrible thing. I have to say, well, that's a good thing, because if my win-to-loss ratio is blah, 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 that's just one of the losses that I'm going to have to take, and I'll do better next time. And I'll do better next time because I realized the mistake that I made to lose that. Or maybe it wasn't even a mistake. Maybe it's just one of those things. Because you lose money doesn't mean you don't know what you're doing. It's just that your timing is off. And you know, the last few videos that I've done, I've talked about timing. And part of the timing of everything that we're doing is not to think stupid shit in your head. You got to think positively. That all sounds very foo-foo and philosophical and all that other kind of crap. We're going to rub our hands together and life is good. That isn't going to make life good. Having a positive outlook and then doing the work necessary is what makes life good. Just thinking you're going to be a successful trader, oh, I'm going to be a successful trader, I'm going to make tens of thousands of dollars a month, that is going to do it for you. You have to do your study, you have to have a plan, you have to have specific rules based on different strategic situations that you're going to come in contact with. You got to have a different set of rules for a trending market than you have for a chop market, right? And those rules shouldn't be that dissimilar. You just have to recognize the difference in what price is doing and how much real estate you have between where your take point is, your profit target, and whether you're going to be staging in there or what a reasonable retraction would be, and do you have enough runway in that profit when it goes into profit for it to come back a little bit in order to sustain your profit, or is there such a tight space that any little retraction coming back is going to cause you to have your bowels contract and not have not have a rule to specifically deal with that, so you're sitting there in real time trying to make up your mind what to do. That's not thinking successfully about the trading, and if you're not thinking successfully about it, then how are you going to perform successfully? Well, you're not. I'm cold, my hands are cold, and to warm them up, I'm saying I have to do the work necessary to make that cup of coffee and to put it in there and to make sure I put some hot water in the cup before I put the coffee in there so that I have something warm, so picking it up it would be warm. So that was all successful planning on a little action that I just did. This is probably not going to be a very interesting video for most of you because I'm going to tell a little story on my life now. So you can all go to sleep, and I'll wake you up in 5 or 6 minutes after I tell you my life story about this. How to be a success before you are. So I graduated from college in 1972 with a bachelor's degree in physics. Moved out here to go to grad school, and that didn't work out too well. And the only skill that I had was martial arts. And so I took my net worth at the time was $2,100, and $1,000 of that was from my folks who had bought some stock for me when I was young, and they knew I was going to open this karate school, and so they said, well, look, this money is really for you, we'll send it to you. And so I had $2,100 of net worth, and opened a martial arts school, karate school. And I worked at that very, 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 very hard. And I was successful at getting students and training students and making friends and being involved in all the things that you get involved in when you open a business. And I'm paying my rent. I'm buying food. I'm going out to dinner when I want to go out to dinner. I'm with friends, and we're going out to pubs and stuff, and sandwiches, and having a few beers, going out to movies. I'm doing fine. But I got turned down for a gas credit card because I wasn't making enough money. I was supporting myself. I wasn't hurting. I wasn't worrying about anything. I wasn't making a ton of money. But I was making enough that I could pay my rent and do the things that I wanted to do. And every dime that I made, part of it was going to go to taxes. I understood that. And I took that out right away. That was in a separate account. But I also took 10% of that, and sometimes much more, and put it into what I call a no-touch account, so that I had dry powder. Didn't know what I was going to use it for, but I knew that's what I needed to do because I was learning the rules of the game at this time. The business continued to go on, and I had scraped together enough money in this separate no-touch account to act as a down payment to buy a rundown single-family home as an investment. And that rent, when I rented the property, paid me $50 net a month after expenses. Now, that $500, and that was after taking some money and putting it aside for maintenance and repairs and all that other stuff. It was $50. So that's $600 a year as a ratio against the amount of money that I put down was pretty good, you know. And I did get that gas credit card, at that point. And because I was learning the rules of the game and I was feeling successful, even though I really wasn't in the big picture of things successful, I was feeding myself and I had a dry bed, okay? But what I did in 1974, just 2 years after I graduated from college and started the karate business, and I had bought a property, is I went out and I bought myself a $200 watch. Now that's not very much in today's money, but back then you could buy a pretty good watch for $30. It's 1974, right? So most people were paying $30 for their watches. I paid $200 for mine. I went out and purchased a Sessions oil painting, a seascape, a boat crashing through the water. My dad had it hanging up in our house in Chicago, and I always loved that picture. He had it in his retirement condo in California, and I wanted it, and so I bought a print, and I had it framed and glassed in non-glare glass, and it cost me $200 to do that because I felt successful. I was feeding myself, I had shelter, I had a business and responsibilities, and I was taking care of things, and I was using my money to invest. I understood the rules of the game, and though I wasn't successful, I was following those rules successfully. And so I thought of myself as successful. And by 1975, I had 4 pieces of real estate that I had bought. In the martial arts, as I said, that I was studying at the time, our whole principle of power dispersion is based on being successful at power dispersion before you are. And you do that by what we call focus behind the point of impact. In other words, here's a surface, and I'm trying to punch to that surface. And so most people would, they do that. But that's not where the focus of the punch really needs to go. The focus of the punch needs to go back here. So I'm not doing this, I'm doing that, just against that surface. I want to punch back here. That's the difference. My thought, my mind, my spirit, my successful thoughts are for that force of that punch to penetrate beyond this point and go to here. So I'm not punching this, I'm punching that. That philosophy of life action was generated by understanding the rules of the game. I was thinking successfully before I was successful. When I learned how to punch, I was with my karate master at his house at advanced training. I was already a black belt. I was 5 years into karate and 2nd degree black belt. And I would go back every year to my master's house and stay for a week. I'd live in his house. We'd get up early in the morning. We'd head down to the club. We'd work out and train. There'd be afternoon classes. We'd work through that. We'd end that. We'd go out, grab a quick bite to eat late in the afternoon after working out during the afternoon. Eat, catch a quick bite somewhere, come back. The evening classes would come in. We'd work through all evening with those classes. They'd go home. We'd work out another hour or two with the advanced folks. Some of them would go home, and then we'd all go to my master's house, and we'd drink beer and eat tacos and tell stories, and then get up the next morning and do the same thing. But one of the things that he did, he was cooking some barbecue ribs at his house for dinner for me, and we were talking about our training and the process of training and the importance of having this positive attitude about life and about what we were doing. We were just training to fight. We were training to live. And if the fight became part of the living, we needed to be able to deal with that because we didn't want to be afraid. We didn't want to walk through life in fear. Yeah, I hope in the background you are relating all this stuff to your own life and into your trading, because it's the way things are done. It's the right thinking, right living way. It is what is called the Tao, the way. It is found in either Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching book or the I Ching itself, which is the oldest book I think ever written on Chinese philosophy. It's the way of success before success. It's the way of survival by being aware and alert to the nature around you so that you can deal with the problems that come up. Like the focus behind the point of impact. I don't want to just be hitting somebody. I want to be putting my fist through to the back of their skull or reaching into their chest cavity and pulling their larynx out, stuffing it up their ass. I don't want to do things halfway, but I don't want to be consumed by it. So I need to learn the rules. As my master taught me, very importantly, at one of these, actually it was at this particular time when he was fixing the ribs for me. The only way that you can change who you are and who you'd like to become is to alter the way that you think, because you're a product of the way that you think. And he asked me, he said, how do you think you punch? Do you think you could punch pretty hard? And I go, yeah, I've been doing this for 5 years, and I was wiry, and I could punch pretty hard. He goes, you can't punch for shit. Well, really? He said, come on back out with me. So we walked out into his backyard, over by some bushes, and he taught me how to punch. And it was simple. But it had to do more with the thought process and the breath timing and the explanation of how those things worked that increased my punching power, output power at that point, dramatically. And I think it probably affected me more than most folks because, again, I had a physics degree in math, and so I understood from a scientific standpoint that what he was talking about was valid, but more importantly, it was the way that I was thinking about things that gave it that special thing, the special thing in trading that I call that special juju pixie dust, whatever it is, price action that gets the price to your target, profit target that you're looking for. You have to change the way that you think in order to make things happen. But if you don't know what that change should look like, then how is it going to work out? And I think too many of the folks that go into trading are only looking at the stuff. Oh, I know what a trend line is, and I know what a fucking Fibonacci thing is, and a Bollinger Band, and it's all bullshit. I've said that in so many videos. It has nothing to do with the market. It has nothing to do with the price action. It's how do you view yourself interacting with that market that will determine your success, not how much shit you know in your head. One of our biggest obstacles in trading is screwing up greed, fear, and hope. If you don't understand where those three things come into play, you need to turn the trading platform off, read Mark Douglas's book, Trading in the Zone, and read, I'm going to get the name of the book right. Oh boy, where is it? Trading from Your Gut, Curtis Faith. I'm pausing because I don't know what else I can say. 95% of the people have long ago dropped off from this video, and that's to their detriment. If you stayed to this point, I haven't helped you. I understand that. But what I'm trying to give you in this whole channel of videos, 160 of them, is a way to change the way that you think and the importance of doing that. If you watch the videos and you read between the lines, I'm going to show you how to do that. But if you just take what I'm saying and try to apply that in a how, and you're struggling with the third component, which is when, but you miss all of the underlying knowledge that I have through 50 years in the martial arts, understanding the rules of the game at 23 years of age, and having 4 pieces of real estate that I had already bought by that time, 40-year career as a senior software engineer, designing and building complex web-based business applications. 33-year career doing that. Real estate investment, 40 years. All the other stuff that I've done. I've been successful at it. But I just didn't stumble off the truck and be successful at it. I was successful at it because I was a success before I started any of that stuff. Because I knew that the only way to become who I'd like to become was to alter the way that I thought. Because thoughts are things. If I say something negative or something crappy, I got to do something 10 times positive to overcompensate for that. Something negative in your head, hope, fear, greed in the wrong place, is a 10-banger against you. How do you expect to make 3 times your money on your thing when it's 10 times against you? Because you got a pissy attitude. Or like me, you got a little Ed, a little bridge troll sitting up on your left shoulder and whispering in your ear telling you to do stupid shit. I get Ed sitting there all the time. He's sitting there today. I cash out $1,500 a Ed. He say, Peter, take another trade. You're a fucking hero. Just take another trade. Do it. Ed, shut up. I'm shutting the platform down. Boom. I'm getting a cup of coffee. Boom, and that's it. So for all the Eds in the world that you're faced with, forget them. They're not your friends. They're not helping you. They tell you you're not going to be a success or that you can't be a success. That's bad. But if you're telling yourself that, or you're wringing your hands because you don't know what to do your work and think successfully and make your mistakes and learn from those mistakes. If I can help you, that's great. The only way that you can become who you'd like to become is to alter the way that you think, because you're a product of the way that you think. Be successful before you are. Set the stage for a good play. Turn the TV on so that the picture comes up and you can watch the movie. But you're not going to be able to watch the movie unless you say, oh, I'd like to watch It's a Wonderful Life today because it's a holiday season and that's a good movie. That successful feeling that you have from watching the movie is what's going to get you to turn the movie on, to learn how to turn the TV on, to learn how to focus it, to learn how to put the movie in so that you can play it or stream it or whatever the hell it is you're going to do. What are you thinking about when you go to play the movie? Oh shit, I don't know how to turn the TV on. Oh, what's the name of that movie? I don't know. Maybe the movie will make me sad. You're all fucked up and you're not going to be a success at anything. I'm sorry to say that. You're wasting your time watching my videos. Turn the thing off like the other 95% of the people already have. But for those of you that's stuck, particularly if you're in that 21 to 34-year-old age group, let's get on with it. Let's get on with this. You're a successful trader. You are a successful trader. Now just do the work and make the mistakes. Listen to what Jesse Livermore said. The only way to get a real education in the market is to invest your cash, track your results, and learn from your mistakes. Couldn't get any better than that. Peter Rose, Longwood Currency Trading. Have a great day and have a great trading day.